advantages also, has some disadvantages also. So yesterday we saw all the plus points, all the positive sides of a Python programming language. Now let us take you through some of the negative aspects, or what we call as some of the disadvantages that we may have to face when we are choosing Python as our programming language to develop any application. Right. So the first point what I would like to go through is mobile applications. So I guess every one of you is familiar with mobile applications. We have apps for our Android phones, for our iPhones. So we have games, we have different kinds of applications and all. So when it comes to developing a mobile application, okay, Python does not have a lot of built-in library support, or those things is not available. It is there, but it is very limited. That is the first disadvantage what we can tell about the Python programming language. So when we want to create any application targeting our Android phone or targeting our iOS, there we may face a light problems. So that is point number one. Point number two. Okay, point number two is when it comes to web application. Okay, web application. So we may face a little bit of problem in that also. We have a lot of frameworks, no doubt about it. We have the frameworks like Django, Web2Py and all, but still it is little bit lacking in our web development. Some features are little bit lacking in the web development also. But of course, all these are now getting improved a lot. So day by day you are getting lot of different libraries are getting invented and other things to support all this, but as of now we may face a slight problems when it comes to these areas. And the third point is, compared to your C, or compared to your C++ or Java, Python programming language lacks in speed. So speed in the sense, when I run an application, how soon the application will get executed and I will be able to see the result of it. So that is what you mean by speed. And guys, please don't judge the speed according to the program that we are writing, because we write all simple programs, 5 lines, 10-line program. So definitely it will run very soon only. We will not see big difference in speed wise. But think about project where there will be thousands of lines of code. So where there will be a connection between one class and another class, one file and another file. So in such scenarios, when you run a program, so the program takes much longer duration when compared to programming languages like Java or C or C++. The reason behind this is because Python is an interpreted programming language. It is not a fully compiled language. Yesterday I told you the difference between a compiled language and an interpreted language. I hope you guys remember. So when we want to execute our code, we can either choose the option of a compiler software, or we use the option of an interpreter. So I told you compiler, how it works. It actually scans the entire program. It gives me the consolidated list of all the errors. So once I have corrected all the errors, the program will run and it is going to produce me the output. Same way, when I talk about an interpreter, it is going to go line by line. So imagine you have made a mistake in all the 10 lines. Then what is going to happen? First line it will execute, error will be there. So it will show you the error. You will correct that. Then again it will run. So first line is now clear. Again second line is an error. So now you have to correct the second line. Then again you will run. Third line is an error. So first two line will execute. Third line it will create another error. So like this, 10 lines, 10 times you have to run the program to correct all the errors. So that is why we say that performance and speed is little less. So the output what I will see will take time when it compared to the other compiled languages. So that is another disadvantage of my Python programming. So now actually they are overcoming all these things, but it is all still under progress. We are working on it. So as of now, we still have these things. Yes. And another important point is database. So when compared to programming languages like Java, where we have the JDBC, where we have something called as ODBC, Open Database Connectivity. So compared to all those things, Python lacks in database access also. You can connect to a database. We can do operations. It is not that we cannot do it. We can do it, but when compared to other programming things like JDBC or ODBC, here the support is not there to that level. So for in JDBC, I can do so many different things, but compared to that, here it is little lesser. So that is another disadvantage we may be facing, where we have to, as a programmer, it is our duty to write the code in such a way that we will be able to overcome all these disadvantages. Right. So, and another thing is enterprise applications. So normally they say that Python may not be a good choice for creating enterprise applications. So what do you mean by this enterprise application is some very large scale applications which will be involving so much of business logics. For example, I will take a banking application. Imagine a bank, how many branches it will be having, how many customers it will be having. Daily, thousands of transactions will be happening. So to manage such an application, creating everything in Python alone is not sufficient. It is not going to be helping us. Still, Java is supposed to be considered as the best choice for creating any enterprise application. Python is still making its way. It is still trying to change that thing, but it is a work in progress. Right. So another important point, I already discussed this yesterday, incompatibility of the two versions. That is 2.x, 3.x versions. Both are entirely different. I cannot mingle the both. So both the versions are absolutely incompatible with each other. So that comes another problem. But when you see programming languages like Java, it is not like that. It is very much compatible with the previous version also. So that advantage is not there in my Python. So this is another disadvantage or a drawback we can be saying, right? And same way, when you're creating applications with Python, lot of additional testing is required. So for this also, they have given us some modules, some predefined functions, some predefined modules are available for this also, but additional testing is definitely required. And the reason this is, I told you yesterday when we are talking about the main feature, Python is a dynamically typed programming language. So what do you mean by that? It is when I'm going to declare a variable, when I'm going to make use of a variable, I do not have to declare the data type. No need to specify any data type. Directly you can say variable name equals to, this is the value. I want to store this value inside this variable. That's all. You don't have to specify any data type at all. So this is an advantage also, but it is also a disadvantage. Because of this, there might be some testing issues may be raised. So to avoid all these things, we have to perform some additional testing on my code. So before actually giving it to my client, I have to do all these additional works also, right? And then there is one more bit of a problem. I don't have option for a multi-line comments. Okay, so basically understand what is a comment here. Comment is nothing but a description about our program, about our code. So comments are nothing but adding descriptions about our own code. So why do we have to use this? Why is the comment so important? Understand one thing. Let me say, for example, you guys are working in one company. Okay, let us say you are working in Infosys, right? So now you are getting a salary of around 35,000 per month. You are getting a better offer. So now from TCS, they are saying, I will offer you 60,000. So will you go or not? Definitely everybody will be moving. So from this company, you are going to go to the other company. So whatever work that you are doing, whatever project you are working on, that project now will be continued by some other fellow. Someone else will be coming and sitting in your seat and continuing your work. So when this is going to happen, that fellow has to understand what the code you have written. Every person will be having its own style of writing the code. So it is always a good programming practice to add comments when you're writing your program. So for example, you're writing a loop. We'll just write on top of the loop, why are we writing this loop? What is this loop going to do? So like that, everywhere, wherever possible, we will try to include our comments so that any person who's following our work can understand. That is one thing. Second thing is, suppose after a few years, you yourself is coming and opening that project. So you should know what you have written, right? You may not remember. So just by seeing the comment, you will get an idea about, okay, this is what is going to happen in the program. So like that, comments are very, very important for a programmer. So it is purely for the programmers' benefit. And who are the programmers? We are the programmers. So it is for our benefit, we are adding the comments. Right. So in Python, I do not have something called as a multi-line comment. Not there. I have to write only one line comment. So everything, it's always going to be a single line comment only. I will explain you more about this in the program, so don't worry. So Python does not have a option of a multi-line comment. That is another drawback I will be having. Right. And the last, or one of the last drawbacks, what I will be saying is, it is not easily a convertible language. So now what do you mean by convertible? Let me say I have written the program in Python. Now I want to convert that Python program into a C program. Okay, I want to convert that code into a C language program. So for that also, there are some tools available for me. Okay, there are some tools available for me. But when you are going to convert Python into C, or Python into Java, or Python into C++, whatever it is not very easy. Reason is, again, Python is a super language. It's a very simple language. We don't have much of syntax. That is, rules are very, very less in Python. But whereas when we are trying to convert it to another language, there we will be facing a problem. Because, say for example, let me take C. In C, we have to declare all the variables. That is, we have to mention the data types. We have to add a semicolon at each end. So all these things, syntaxes are there in that language. Same syntax we have to follow in Java also. So when it comes to those things, converting a Python code into a C or into a Java will be very, very tedious process. That is, it is a very difficult process. It's not so easy for us to do it. So that is another drawback which we will be facing. Right. And memory. Next thing we are going to talk about is memory. Right. So here, as a programmer, you have to understand one thing very clearly. There is two important things that you have to remember whenever you are going to write your program. Time, space. Time, what do you mean by time? The execution time of your program. When you're going to write a program and when you're going to run it, how soon it is going to execute and produce me the output. That is nothing but time. Space, how much of memory space is your program going to occupy? So time, space. These two are very, very important for a programmer. You have to make sure that you are using it in an optimized way, in an efficient way. Here with Python, memory efficiency, okay, it is not so much. Compared to other languages, in Python, we lack memory efficiency. Okay, why? I will tell you about this. When we are talking about the concept of data types, I will discuss more on this point. Don't worry. So these are all the overall things we say, the disadvantages we may have when we are choosing Python for our application development. So as a programmer, I have to make sure that these things also I need to adjust while writing my program. And I have to balance both. Since I have so many advantages, a few disadvantages here and there, I need to balance it out. So this is the important background things you should know before going into our basic Python codes. Right, so now you know what is Python. So Python is basically a programming language. So next, why do we need a programming language? Because it is used to communicate to our computer what we need to do. So computer cannot understand what I'm talking. I cannot understand what computer is saying. So I need a way of communication. I need my instructions to be followed so that it is going to produce an output for me. So for that purpose, I'm going to use a programming language, and that programming language here is going to be Python. Right. And what are the key features of Python? What are the disadvantages I may have when I'm facing my Python? And who is the founder? Which year it was founded? What are the different versions that is there? And why did Python got its name? So these are all the introductions of your Python programming language. And of course, we saw in which are the ways we can make use of Python also. I told you about desktop applications, web applications, mobile applications. So there are different areas in which I can actually make use of the Python programming language. Data science, big data, ML, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So many areas are there where Python is very, very popularly used. Clear? Right. So now the next scenario, what we are going to do is we are going to go into our core programming. So how to write a code in Python. So that is the next step what we are going to be seeing. Right. So now before going into that, I'm going to tell you about how to actually make use of the Python software. Okay, I will tell you about the various softwares that you can actually make use of for Python. First thing, I will discuss about an online compiler. Okay, I will share you the link. The compiler is called as instax.in. Okay, let me just copy this and I will put it in your group. It's an online compiler. Right, there you go. I have pasted it in the group. Okay. Right, so this is the site where you will be going. So first thing, instax.in is the name. So you just have to go open a Chrome. So this online compiler, you can make use of, okay, you can make use of in your mobile phones also and in your laptops also. Both the ways it is allowed. So that is why I'm saying you can actually make use of it. I have added, right? Okay. Right. So now how to use it, I will tell you. So here, this is the screen that you will be getting. Okay. So it will be like this. So you have to go to the option which is called as code compilers. So once you go in, you just can click on this option, code compilers. Okay. No need to create your ID. If you want, you can create also. But otherwise, we can directly go and log into that. Right. So now when you select code compiler, this is the screen you will be seeing. So in this screen, what is the first step you have to do? You have to select the programming language. So here you can see the drop down list. So this compiler supports multiple programming language. You can create C, C++, Java, Python, Python for ML. You have so many different languages, Go language, Shift language. So like this, you can choose any language and you can write the code for it and run it. So here I'm going to choose my Python. So make sure that you are choosing the latest version of Python. See, you have Python 2.7 version also. You have Python 3.8 version also. And there is another Python which says Python for ML. So don't go for ML. ML is machine learning. So now first let us get to know what is Python and basics of Python. And then we will plan on all the machine learning and other things, right? So you have to select this version. And I already told you that we are going to be dealing with 3.x versions. That is 3.8, 3.9 and so on. So you can choose this, right? So as soon as you have chosen, you can see here, I will just zoom in. Yes. So you can just see here, one simple code is coming for us. So what does it say? Print hello world. So I told you, any programming language you go, the first thing what you will be writing, always a hello world program. That is what we are writing here also. Print. What do you mean by that word? Print is a normal word. So Remember, anything that you are going to write inside a print is going to be displayed as a output. So print, first thing what you need to know is about the print. Okay, see, I have clicked on the part called as notes and I'm just writing this. So it is not going to affect my program in any way. Right, so what is the thing we need to know about print? First thing is, it is called as a predefined function. We call the print as a predefined function. So now what do you mean by predefined? We can also call this as built-in. So we can also call this as a built-in function. That is, it comes along with the Python programming language itself. You don't have to create the print function. It is already there with my Python language itself. So whatever you put inside the print statement is going to be displayed for me in my output window. So purpose of the print statement is what? To print the result. To print the message, okay, or any result, whatever we want, okay, on the output stream. On the output stream. So that is the work of my print statement. Whatever you are asking, whatever you are giving inside the print statement is going to be printed as my output. Right. So now let us run this program. Let us run this and let us see how it is working. Right. So now this is my program. Okay. So here I have the run option. So I have written the program. Here one line is there. I have the run. So click on this run. So when you click on this run, see what is coming in the output. STDOUT means it is the standard output screen. This is what you mean by standard output screen. So here what are you getting? You're getting hello world. And that is what you have printed inside the print statement. So remember, whatever you are going to give inside the print statement is going to get printed as it is. Okay, so when you want to do that, what we are going to do, first step is we have to put it inside the double quotes. So we have to put inside double quotes. So whatever you are giving within double quotes. Sorry guys. I think by mistake I must have touched something. I'm sorry about that. One sec. Yes. So here, whatever you are going to give inside of the double quotes is going to be displayed as it is. In whichever way you are giving, it is going to be displayed as it is in my output window. Say for example, I will give I am new to space Python. Okay, now I'm going to run this. See, how is my output coming? Anything which you give inside the double quotes will be printed for you in the output screen as it is. Exactly in the same way, it is going to get printed. Suppose if I am saying print, okay, within double quotes, 10 plus 20 plus 30. Right, now let me run this. See what is happening. It is not performing any arithmetic operation. It is not giving me the result as 60. But see what it is coming. It is saying 10 plus 20 plus 30. Whatever you are giving within the double quotes will always be getting printed as it is in the output window. So this is one very, very important point you have to remember. Okay, and every print statement, okay, you can have n number of print statements in your program. As much as you like, you can give. Every print statement will be getting printed in a new line. See this, first thing, hello world in a separate line. Then I am new to Python in a separate line. 10 plus 20 plus 30 in a separate line. So like this is what your print statement will be working. So suppose I'm giving another one. I'm just saying print. Semicolon, comma, dot, anything, whatever you want, you can give it like this. See what it says. So understand? Okay. Whatever you give within double quotes is going to get printed. And what do you call this? We call this as a string. So understand what is a string? Within double quotes. Okay, within double quotes, whatever you are going to give, that is what we call as a string. So it can be anything. It can be numbers, it can be alphabets, it can be any symbols. Say I can also give like this. So I will say print my email ID is, then I will say that's it. I'll run this. See, alphabets, numbers, some special characters, anything, anything. A combination of all this together is what we call as a string. So always remember, within double quotes, whatever you're going to give is treated as a string. So you may ask, ma'am, can we give only within double quotes? Can't we use anything else? Right? So we'll check that also. Right, so what I have given within single quotes. I'm not using double quotes here. I'm using only single quotes. See, that is also accepted. So single quotes, double quotes, doesn't matter. Anything is treated as a string. Understand? In Python, this is special character of Python, not any other programming language. So in Python, within single or double quotes, whatever you give is treated as a string value. And when you are giving that string inside a print statement, it is going to be printed as it is in our output. Am I clear, guys? Any doubts in this? Kindly give me a response.
No, ma'am.
Others also. Is it clear?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Right. So now I'm going to tell you the next variation of the print statement. Suppose instead of like this, instead of printing 10 plus 20 plus 30, I want the value 60. How to do that? So here what we are going to do, we are simply without double quotes. So understand this, without double quotes, give the values. Now run the program. See? So when you give it within double quotes, it is a string, and string will just get printed, nothing else. But now when you give like this is treated as an expression. We call this as an expression. So what it is going to do, it will first evaluate this expression, and then the result of this expression is going to get printed for me. So I can use either like this or I can use like this. Different ways of using my print statements, because this is the first thing that you should be knowing. Because in all our programs, we cannot write a Python program without the print at all. So you should know clearly what are the different ways I can use my print. Suppose you can add more also. So I can just say any expressions you want. We just can add that. See? So this is another way of using my print. Right. So as I said, this is an online compiler which you can make use of in your system also, laptop or system, or in your mobile also. Now let me tell you about one more compiler. This is also an online compiler. Okay, we call this as GDB. Okay, just have to type GDB compiler. So you'll automatically get the onlinegdb.com. That is the link for it. So I will just share you this link also in your WhatsApp group. Right. There you go. So this is for the persons who does not have their laptop or a system, but they still want to do the practice of the programs. You can actually type the program here. So here again, we have to select the language. So this program also, this platform compiler also is like your Instax. It is also online. It also supports multiple programming language. So first thing, choose the language of your choice. So here, as you see, I told you, anywhere you go, the first program you will be seeing is always a Hello World program. So here you can directly, here you have the run button. So you can just click on the run and see below itself, you will be able to see the output. So this is another compiler. Okay, so now same program you can execute. See, I can just copy this. Okay, and I can just paste it here. Okay, I can just run this and show you. Same output, no output changes and all. See, all the compilers is going to give me the same output. So there will be no changes, but I just want to know the different options you can have. Okay, this is one thing. Now we'll tell you about the offline programs. This is an online compiler. So now let me tell you. Okay, so guys, I think I have only less than another 1 minute for me. So let me just disconnect this meeting. I will share you another link. I told you yesterday itself, right? I can have only for 40 minutes. So just give me 2 minutes. I will share you another link. So I want all of you to kindly join in that, ma.
Okay, ma'am.